I'm Anil Kumar, and I'll discuss with you a very good technique of sketching quadratic functions. And the method being applied here, we call it partial factoring. Normally, you will be sketching graphs using the quadratic function in vertex form or in intercept form. But with partial factoring, I've seen very few students sketching parabolas or the quadratic functions. But I can assure you that this is really a very effective way of doing so. The question here is, sketch the graph of y equals to 2x squared minus 8x plus 5 by writing it in the form of y equals to ax times x minus s plus t, finding 2 points on the graph and deducing the coordinates of the vertex. So it's kind of a complicated statement, but that is exactly what we are going to do, right? So you will understand what this means as we move forward. We are given here the equation of the quadratic equation, which is 2x squared minus 8x plus 5, and this, when you graph, you should get a parabola, right? So to graph this parabola, first you need to write it in this form. So that is called the partial factored form. So let me show you what it is. We only factor the first two terms and we keep this t is a constant here. So we just factor these two terms. So what is common between these two terms? 2x. So I'll factor 2x. Not everything, therefore partial factoring. I hope now you appreciate it. So 2x, and we are left with x minus 4, and we'll just keep 5 here. So it is in the form given to us, y equals to a times these two partial factors plus a constant, right? Now, if you analyze this, if I make x equals to 0, then what is y equals to? You'll say, in this case, y is equals to this term, the whole term will be 0, y is 5, y equals to 5. Now, if I make x equals to 4, then this factor will be 0. So the second factor is 0. 0 times anything is 0. Again, you get y equals to 5. That means you get two mirror images, and this one is the y-intercept. This one is the y-intercept. So always when you partial factor, you will get one y-intercept. So we get y-intercept and image of y-intercept. Do you get the idea? Center, just exactly between these two, will be our axis. Now from here, you can find out the axis. So axis will be mean, average value of these two. That is 0 plus 4 divided by 2. And in this case, it is at 2. To find maximum minimum, which will always be on the axis, we can substitute 2 in your equation, and this say y equals to, substituting 2 here, we get 2 times, or in this equation, as you wish. So let's substitute in the original equation, 2 times 2 square minus 8 times 2 plus 5. So 2 square is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, minus 16 plus 5. You can use calculator, calculate this answer. 8 plus 5 is 13, so you get minus 3. So here we get minus 3. Now this is a parabola which is going to open in which direction? Positive means upward, so that becomes a negative value as a minimum. Now let's go through it once again, and I'll sketch as I discuss with you all these fine details. So we now have a parabola here, so I'll make a bigger sketch here. Let's say this is our coordinate plane. Now here we have x and y. So what we got here is that x equals to 0, y is 5. So somewhere here, let us say this is our 5. That is the y-intercept for the parabola. And we also get a point whose value is 5 when x is 4. So let us say this is when x is 4, it is again 5. Now in between, exactly in between these two values, we should have our axis. Do you get the point? So that is what we did here, axis. So we found axis was at 2. Now we know this parabola is going to open upwards. what is the vertex? To calculate the vertex, we applied that axis value here, substituted, and found that it is at -3. So let us say -3 is here for us. So we found that this point is here. So we get 2 points and this, and we can join them with the graph, which looks like a parabola. That's the whole idea, right? So now we'll just join this, and we say that is our parabola. So we just, join this with the parabola, correct? So we do like this. So that is the parabola, which is represented by this equation. Do you get it? How easy it was. We did not do factoring. It is very difficult to factor this equation, and we did not even do completing the squares. We saved a lot of time. Just partial factor, get the y-intercept, and we call this is the y-intercept, okay? And that is the image of y-intercept. And this is our axis of symmetry. In this case, the equation of axis of symmetry is x equals to 2. Substituting 2, you get the minimum value, and that's the minimum value, right? Which is at 2, the minimum value is -3. These points are perfect to sketch the parabola. Do you see that? So that is a strategy which we can use to sketch parabola, especially when it's difficult to factor the equation, right? And it is important to save time by not doing completing the squares. I hope you understand and appreciate it. I'm Anil Kumar. You can subscribe to my videos and learn a lot. Thank you.